So, Anacharis Scoria recently got his model unveiled, and I'd say the destroyer of demigods lives up to his reputation from the rules. If you're not up to date with 30k stats, this dude has had a datasheet for a long while now, and has become rather legendary for his ability to go toe to toe with the Primarchs that litter the Tech-Heresy. Fluff-wise, he's pretty damn fun too, being something of a luminary for the foundation of the Dark Mechanicum beyond Mars and a trendsetter for all sorts of techno-heresy. So at last we get a model for him, and what a delightful model it is. There's a fantastic sense of motion to it. Generally that sort of dynamism is achieved through things like flowing robes, especially for tech priests, but this guy is different from that. The motion is carried almost entirely through the mechanical features. It's the angles of all the legs, the positions of the snibbity-snap claws. Looking at this, you can feel how this creature moves, a writhing mass of complexity that's too discordant to track, like when a spider is pattering along your skin. I can't help but picture him in motion, jerking about like a Jason and the Argonauts stop-motion skeleton. And all of this insectoid imagery is contrasted with the human face in there. It couches the piece in the perversion of humanity that the most evocative horror monsters draw upon, and that's perhaps the best praise I could give to this miniature. It's horrifying. More so than almost any other model at this scale I can think of, outside of maybe some of Kingdom Death's more perverse Griblies. Scoria is genuinely frightening. Nightlords are scary given context of the fluff, but to look at them, they're always going to be bulky space marines with bat wings on their helmets. Yes, it would be terrifying if one ran at you with lightning claws out, but to just look at one in broad daylight would not be scary. Scoria though? I can't think of a context where a creature like this wouldn't be genuinely unsettling. Now, about the narrative thing, one of the most important aspects to the miniatures of the 30k line is an illustration of history and continuity of technology, and insight into the culture of those building it. One side of this coin is the reimagining of old designs, dating as far back as Rogue Trader, which gives the classic imagery of the grim Dark Storm an artistically and technically up-to-date lease on life, be it in the patterns of bolt guns and rhinos that evoke the metal models, to the contempted dreadnoughts that match the 8mm epic representations. But the other side of this coin is one of a sort of retro continuity. The best example of this might be the Blight Drone, something of a venerable product of the Forge World stock, which was given a historical basis through the Vulturax Stratos Automata. Now, this isn't that dirty sort of ruins your favourite fluff kind of retcon. This is a loving sort that adds depth to an old classic. The Blight Drone even got reimagined in plastic, creating an even greater legacy of progression into further and further extents of corruption. And Scoria is another example of that rare but brilliant side of the coin. If you haven't realised it yet, then take a look at him. Do you see it? What the Vulturax is to the Blight Drone, Scoria is to the Defiler. Or, at least, that's the headcanon I'm going with, because that is the coolest thing ever. Just think about it. Blight Drones are the corrupted progeny of a similar mechanized unit, but Defilers are based off of this guy. This guy was such a monster that they based a whole class of unit off his body. The Tech Priest is replaced with a box with a demon in it, the Mechadendrites and Tails have been replaced with weapons mounted to the box, they've cut down on the number of legs and scaled the whole thing up, but it's the guy, it's him, look at them, they're the same, that is so cool! And it makes Scoria and the Defiler massively more compelling. It's the kind of narrative put over that doesn't require something else to be put down, like so many avatars of Cain. It's retconning that is purely constructive. So yeah, I really like this model. I look forward to seeing it painted and to seeing what conversions this guy fuels. I can already imagine him being used for a Countess Belisarius call in people's 40k Dark Mech armies that use the AdMech Codex. If I had a complaint to level, it would be the lack of overt xenotech influence, as is implied by the illustration we've had for so long. See the little cyber familiar there that's so obviously based on a Necron Canoptech unit? But it would be easy as hell to rectify this with the simplest of conversion. Just replace the tuning fork end on the staff with something from the Necron range and you're golden. Hell, you could even just put a scarab on the base and that'd do it. Forge World have done a fantastic job. 666 demons out of a vault of Moravec.
And it's so easy when you're evil. This is the light you see. The devil tips his hat to me. I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all